who PayMoneyWubby is?
Should I?
He is a YouTuber. And he's kind of right-winging, kind of like a skeptic, anti-SJW sort of guy. But he's very like middle of the road, really kind of a centrist sort of dude that he's not too bad. I haven't seen anything too bad from him. I know the lefties don't like him, but I haven't seen anything too bad from him. I kind of like him. He just came out with a video that has been very popular where he responds to Cut, which is more of a woke African-American YouTube channel where they do very just like they'll ask a question to like 100 different people and then show their responses.
Okay.
So tell me if you can hear this. I think I turned the audio on this time. So,
boys, the mic is here by the day, and I'm sorry about that. 3 videos in 3 weeks. It must be Christmas. You're welcome. What a day. Today we have a controversial video I'm going to be reacting to. I didn't think it would be controversial, but upon further research, apparently the take I'm going to give today is a spicy one. Today we're going to be looking at the recently uploaded. So what exactly are white people superior at? I know, boys, 2 weeks of Pokemon and then to this. But before we get into that, boys, let me get the cans on.
How to deal with being unattractive.
So this video comes from the YouTube channel Cut, which I hadn't actually heard of until this video. They have 10.1 million subscribers. I believe this is somewhere similar to like a BuzzFeed or something. I don't know. I don't really watch videos like this typically. All right, let's start the video. We asked 100 black folks. I will fall on the ignorant sword right now, but when did we start spelling folks? F-O-L-X?
That is kind of stupid. I hate that. Do you know why they have the X?
It's like an inclusivity thing. Same
Yes.
thing as like Latinx.
Yes. It's supposed to be gender inclusive, but the word folks is already gender inclusive. Yes, it's not specific to just one gender. It is already gender inclusive. Adding the X is kind of overkill here, but whatever.
Am I out of the loop? Folks. Folks is an alternative spelling to the familiar word folks. The spelling has been adopted by some communities. What? They use folks because folks isn't gender neutral. Who the fuck has ever been like, how's it going tonight, folks? Just the men, not the women. Some articles suggest that folks is more inclusive because it's gender neutral. I'm just gonna say it. Bad start to the video. Also, we're getting into this a little too deeply, but I do want to point out the beautiful like to dislike ratio. I am proud to say this video has not been received well. So good job, guys.
What are white people superior at?
Man.
Okay. What are white people superior at?
Not seasoning their food.
Not seasoning their food. Okay. Okay. All right.
Huh. Oh God.
What are white people superior?
I'm sorry. I didn't. That's just. It's just that was a lot. That was a lot at once. And I'm gonna apologize for that. That was not okay of me.
They just keep talking mostly about their pets.
White people love their dogs. Like that's all you see.
White people do love their dogs. What kind? It's not. She's not wrong. They got us there. The best.
Yeah. Okay. White people. White people do love their dogs. That's true. They got their emotional support animals. They gotta have those. Okay. That's fair. That's what white people are superior at, is loving they dogs. True. All right. Fair enough.
Best part of this video so far is the sound of her nails tapping.
Love their dogs.
Cats, letting them get on your countertops while you're cooking. Yes.
What exactly are white people superior at? fuck, man. Like making cereal.
Casseroles.
Cereal?
It's always tuna. What do you mean? It's always tuna.
All right, they got us on that one. There's 8 more of these in my cabinet. So, you know what? Fair.
Using mayonnaise in a lot of.
Dude, I'm in this video and I don't like it. This video does start out lighthearted. It's people kind of remarking and making fun of some white stereotypes. And if I'm being honest, it's funny. Stay with me because the video is going to take a bit of a nosedive.
Smelling funky. Santa Claus.
Okay, hold on. Let's bring that back.
Wait, she said smelling funky?
And Santa Claus?
Why do guys,
Don't bring Santa into this, bruh.
why do white people smell funky?
Do white people smell funky?
Do white people smell I'm unaware of this.
I think that like scents have very little to do with race and more to be like families and like individual people.
I mean, when it comes to smelling funky, maybe. I don't know. Is that a white thing? In the chat, let us know. Are y'all smelling funky right now? I feel like we probably have a very white chat right here. So check yourself real quick. Just whoo. Oh man. Okay,
Guys,
yeah.
I'm Mexican. Do I smell funky?
I mean, Mexicans do smell funky. I'm not gonna lie. They got that, like they got their own cooking that they like to use, and it kind of stinks up the house. It's a lot of fish. It's a lot of yeah, a lot of beans.
A lot of fat. There's a lot of
Yes.
fat. We fry everything in fat, so
Yes.
there's a lot of fat.
Yeah. So Mexicans, they
It's
got
a little spicy.
a little yes, a little spicy. Okay, it's true.
First off, that's a dope shirt. We have what appears to be a police officer wearing a Ku Klux Klan hood. We were all kind of having fun, and now she's just like, yeah, white people smell bad. Are you starting to notice a bit of a shift? Because it's going to get worse.
Smelling funky. Santa Claus.
That was a weird one. They slipped that one in there too. We're superior at Santa Claus? What is that?
White people are.
Well, okay, hold on. No, that is true. White people are superior at Santa Claus. Like,
Santa Claus is white.
yes, we just watched Laura Ingram tell us that Santa Claus is white.
And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white.
If you weren't here for that, we just heard Laura Ingram from Fox News tell us that Santa Claus is white.
So white people are superior at having fictional characters that are also white.
You're talking about like Harry Potter or Santa Claus. You're talking about Santa Claus.
Yeah, like that. The white people are superior at having white fictional characters.
White people are superior at being white, is what you're. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Great at having fun. That's a function of white supremacy because they just.
White people are superior at having fun.
And that's white supremacy, to have fun.
Maybe. Okay, so maybe not white supremacy. If we're talking about like what, like some sort of white privilege to say that like
White people have less to worry about while they're having fun.
Yes. Yeah. To say like, yes, like white people can go walking down the road and party in the streets and do, whatever. And they're not worried about the cops like pulling them over and harassing them or something like that. Maybe white people are able to have fun because they have less worries or problems.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that. It was just the way he phrased it was really, really weird.
Yeah, it was bad.
Just don't have as many stresses as we do.
White people are superior at having fun. You hear that? Black, Asian, Hispanic people, you just don't get to have fun like us whites. Sorry, boys, but not only do we not tear it up on the dance floor, but we're having a better time doing it.
White people are very superior at their privilege and utilizing it. We do not have the privilege to do whatever and however we want to.
Well, just
so white people are better at having privilege. Do we disagree with this, Kay? Is there anything there that we're upset about? White people are better at having privilege.
I mean, like, the more that you experience or do something, the better you're going to be at it. And in America, whites have had the most privilege for the longest amount of time. So naturally, they're going to be better at possessing.
I mean, you're Latino. But you look like a white person. So you like the looks are what matters, right? Like it doesn't matter much if you don't, if you're Latino but you look like a white person, you experience all of that white privilege, right?
I would agree with that for the most part. Yeah. Like the racism that I've experienced in my life for being Mexican hasn't been like initial, like immediately based off of the way that I look. It's once people find out that like I'm Mexican, that like my grandparents came over the border from Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, like I would understand maybe growing up if your parents were Latino, and like Destiny is Cuban. His parents are Cuban. The way he grew up, he may not have had all of the privileges of a white person, but he looks like a white person now. So now I think he has white privilege. I think it's fair to say.
Apparently, like I have like all of the privileges. Like, like I am a white passing female. Like, okay, so I had someone tell me
you have female privilege.
I have the she told me that I was so privileged because I'm a minority that looks like a white person. And
so you get to play the Latino card.
Yeah, I get to play the minority card
while experiencing
the privilege of being white.
White privilege, yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, and she brought up the fact that like I was a woman. I was like, aren't women objectively like a disenfranchised group of people?
Well, we've talked about this. I mean, there like the whole thought like problem, you know, the gamer girls, the online starting a YouTube channel. Like
she told me, she's like, no, you don't get to be part of like the disenfranchised group of women because you're objectively attractive.
Oh.
Like, okay.
Lookism.
Yes.
We've talked about this.
So I am like at the height of privilege all the time.
Oh. So like white straight male.
I have
you're above
privilege.
me.
I have more privilege than a straight white man.
You know what? I don't know that I disagree with that. I've talked about this before. My girlfriend, she was very attractive. She was able to be treated in ways that I wasn't in some places. Like everywhere she went, people wanted to be around her and talk to her, and I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen me before. I'm not the same as like a very cute blue-eyed, blonde-haired white girl is. There are, we'll just say there are privileges that come with being a man, and there are privileges that come with being a woman. Each side gets their own privileges. Now, some would make the argument that being able to play the race card, which white people are not allowed to do, gives you some sort of privilege, which of course it does. Maybe it's not as good of a privilege as being white, but everybody gets all sorts of privileges, right? If you're Middle Eastern, you get to be Aladdin for Halloween without being accused of cultural appropriation.
But you also have the chance of someone calling you a terrorist as you walk down the street.
All right. All right. It just took a dark turn. We're going back to the video.
To be clear, I recognize that, but neither do I. I can't run around and do whatever the fuck I want in this world.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Insecurity, pretending, fear,
Being fearful of nothing. Being
Damn, that escalated fast.
It did. That took a turn. Now, I feel, if we're talking about my feelings here, I feel as though they're talking about like racism. Like white people are afraid of like immigrants. They're afraid of black people taking over. They're afraid of becoming a minority. The Great Replacement, right? We just talked about this. White people have a lot of fear. They're afraid of these things, right?
Yeah, like I read it as like white people have fears, and like even though they have all of this privilege, like their fears are nothing compared to ours. So like they're basically afraid of nothing.
Well, no, we're superior at being afraid.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, yours makes more sense. You're
Okay.
superior at being afraid
All right.
of
Ignorance,
Blame.
letting their egos control their every move,
privilege.
Privilege, feeling victimized,
Playing the victim.
congratulating themselves over shit that they're incompetent at.
You can't just now sit here and keep the goofbally music going. Haha, we're laughing, we're having fun. When there is
They are playing Austin Powers music. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
realize that. I just now realized that they're playing Austin Powers music. As soon as he, yeah, as soon as he said the goofbally music, I realized this is Austin Powers music.
fear,
being fearful of nothing.
Being ignorant,
Blame.
letting their egos control their every move,
privilege.
Privilege, feeling victimized,
Playing the victim.
congratulating themselves over shit that they're incompetent at.
you can't just now sit here and keep the goofbally music going. Haha, we're laughing, we're having fun. When there is a very strong shift in what is being said. We went from whites enjoy mayonnaise, haha, to white people are insecure, white people are the most sensitive, white people are self-congratulatory. What? This went from fun, lighthearted stereotypes to just fuck white people.
Congratulating.
I don't know. I mean, hold on. Okay. It does seem a lot of this is like they're talking about on like a systemic level.
Yeah, like they're not saying like, it's still stereotypes. Like, yeah, they're becoming more unfair and kind of more harsh and harmful, but they're still just like general stereotypes. Like what I said about like Arabs being accused of terrorism. Like there are people out there that like whenever they see a brown person, someone that might be Arab, like they scream like terrorist at them. Like that's been a normal thing to happen since 9/11 happened. Like these are like there are stereotypes that are rude and hurtful for all the different races. They're just getting to the more rude and hurtful ones for white people.
Yeah, it seems as though they're talking about on a systemic level. So when they say things like, they're afraid, right? They're talking about like white people are afraid of other colors of people. And historically, systemically, this has been true. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. They're, like historically speaking, they're correct. This is the way white people have been. So like it just, I feel as though he's taking this as like they're saying all white people are this way. But I feel as though they're talking about like on a systemic level, historically, white people have had these issues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's just like what he said with the other stereotypes. Like it's it's funny because on a certain level, it's true.
Right.
Like on a certain level, yeah, these are rude and mean, but on a certain level, they're true.
Right. Okay. All right.
Themselves over shit that they're incompetent at or that should have already been done.
They're superior at being dicks.
Hey, white people, you're just superior at being dicks.
Okay. Again, I mean, that's a harsh way to put it. So the first guy, he said they're superior at patting themselves on the backs for doing things that should have already been done. So like I have heard lots of people who say things like Tucker Carlson or other people on Fox News who will say things like, oh, you guys hate white people so much. Well, aren't we the ones who released black people from slavery? You're welcome, black people.
It's like, dumbass, you still enslaved them. And
Yes. Yeah. Like if we're talking about a race, yes, like you specifically did not enslave them. Also, you specifically did not release them from slavery. So you can't take credit for one without taking credit for the other. If you want to take credit for what white people did, you can take credit for releasing them from slavery, as long as you're also taking credit for enslaving them in the first place, right?
And like, it's such a double standard because you have right-wing white people always talking about how, you never picked any cotton and I never owned any slaves. Like, I don't owe you anything because ancestors way back when enslaved your ancestors from way back when. Like, we're in the here and now. So live in the here and now. Like, if you're not responsible for, the idea of reparations because, my ancestors were enslaved all of these years ago by your ancestors, then you are not responsible and can take no credit for the ending of slavery.
Yeah. So they're like, again, it seems as though they're talking about these things on a systemic level, not specific white people. It seems kind of harmless here.
Haha, the crowd went mild. What's the joke there? I think I can gauge when you stopped trying to be funny. And I don't think in any way she was attempting to be funny there at all. I wouldn't call that edgy humor when it lacks humor. It's almost completely devolved into just, let's just shit on white people. I'm not offended if somebody in this video hates white people. What offends me is that I can't criticize this without being labeled as white supremacist, without being labeled as whites having white sensitivity. In this video, they literally say those words. White people are really good at being overly sensitive.
Okay. You and I get this. It doesn't seem as though he gets it. So he's kind of being overly sensitive.
I think that like he's lying whenever he said that he's not offended. Like I think he's offended that his feelings are a little hurt.
No, he did say he said, I'm not offended because of this. I am offended because of this. That's I believe that's what he just said.
Supremacist without being labeled as whites having white sensitivity. In this video, they literally say those words. White people are really good at being overly sensitive. So does that just make you and your content immune to criticism? So here's a reaction video. So they literally say those words. White people are really good at hates white people. What offends me is that I can't criticize this without being labeled as white supremacist.
So he's saying what offends me is the fact that I can't criticize this without being a racist.
Yeah, but like I don't know, he got really worked up really, really quickly, and I feel like he might be a little bit offended by what they're saying.
Yeah, well, and that's I maybe he is. Yeah, I think you're right because again, I'm looking at this, seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, like And it is playful. They're saying these things in a playful way, but they're talking about on a systemic level what white people are superior at. So it doesn't seem offensive to me. I maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but
I mean, it's like the stereotype that, all Mexicans are illegal. Like that stereotype, like it should maybe be offensive, or like we're all like drug dealers smuggling drugs to kids over the border. Like, to me, it's just like, yeah, it's a stereotype, and it's kind of like whatever. It's not a big deal, and I don't find it offensive. Really, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, I could understand why some people would find it offensive, though. Whether or not I'm offended by the fact that they think all casseroles made by white people are tuna casseroles, I don't really care. I don't think I've ever had tuna casserole before. I've had a lot of casseroles, for sure. I don't think I've ever had tuna casserole. I love tuna, though. I mean, I go to Subway like almost daily, and I get the tuna. I get the foot long sub. I get the tuna. I get a whole lot of buffalo sauce and jalapenos and sriracha with bacon, some cheddar. Whew, I love tuna, though. They're not wrong. I love tuna. Just I get a lot of seasoning. I get a lot of spices. I get all that stuff.
Yeah, literally everything else sounded amazing besides the tuna.
Oh, see, okay. So I hate saying things this way or keep going back here, but my last girlfriend felt the same way. Thought it was going to be disgusting. I made her eat it. She loves it. Like she continues to order it. It's good stuff. You got to try it. Text me the next time you go to Subway. I will.
Remember the last time I was at Subway.
Well, I don't care about the last time you were at Subway. I'm saying the next time you're at Subway.
I don't even know where there is a Subway.
I can't go back in time and help you get this sub. So in the future, let me be as specific as possible. In the future, the next time you go to Subway, text me. I will give you the recipe for this. It's very good. You're gonna enjoy it. And you will be fully welcomed into the white culture.
Without being labeled as whites having white sensitivity. In this video, they literally say those words. White people are really good at being overly sensitive. So does that just make you and your content immune to criticism? So here's a reaction video from Hasan. He's a Twitch streamer, one of the largest Twitch streamers on the platform currently. And somebody in his chat mentions that there's an embarrassing video that exists. And here's Hasan's response.
I don't think you should be embarrassed by black people saying this about white people. Why the fuck do you care? Like, you didn't do any of that shit. As long as you're a good person who is open-minded.
I am so
bad. That's really bad. Hasan, you are so stupid, bro. Hasan, please be watching this. Please watch this. You are so stupid, Hasan. I'm sorry. You are dumb, bro. Like, for real. You are dumb. Like, there are so many things you could have said. There are so, like, you could, like, we're talking about, like, oh, well, no, they're probably talking about these things on a systemic level. It's not really like criticism of specific white people. You shouldn't be offended by this. But no, you say, well, as long as you're a good person, you shouldn't care. Oh, Hasan, I freaking hate that guy. He's a communist. He looks more and more like Matt Walsh every day. He really does. I don't know. Kay had to jump off.
Baffled by that response. You shouldn't be offended if you're not doing the things they're accusing people of. The implication that I'm understanding from his commentary here is that if you're not racist, if you're not a piece of shit, this shouldn't offend you. I mean, if I got on a video and criticized an entire race of people and then they got frustrated at it, do I just get to say, hey, as long as you don't fall into the criticisms, don't be offended. It's not a big.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. This is why Hasan is stupid. This is why what he's saying is stupid. If I'm a white person and I'm like 1350, bro, 1350, black people can't stop committing crimes. They all love to commit crimes so much. They're always committing crimes. They're all a bunch of rapists and murderers. Now, if you're black and you don't rape and murder people, then you shouldn't be offended by this. I'm just saying black people are rapists and murderers. That's all I'm saying. That's it. If you happen to be one of the good ones, if you happen to be one of the black people that's not raping and murdering everybody, then don't worry about it, dude. I'm not talking about you.
Big deal. It is embarrassing to me that videos like this get made. This is a large production, 10 million subscribers on this channel. That means there are probably writers who wrote the questions, researchers, teams of people working, editors, directors, people who are approving this. Why didn't anybody stop at one point and go, maybe we shouldn't post some garbage like this? I think I know why they didn't stop. Because we have people like this saying, oh, no one, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be embarrassed unless you are these things. I am none of those things, and I am incredibly embarrassed that these videos get posted consistently.
What exactly?
Again, I don't think he should be embarrassed either. I think we're talking about things on a systemic level. I don't think that they're talking about specifically somebody like PayMoneyWubby. I out of context this moment. Yes, you guys are gonna get me on the 1350. It's okay. You're going to get me over here talking about how black people are rapists and murderers. It's all right. You got me out of context. I'm okay with it. I'm waiting for the memes. I'm ready.
Are white people superior at?
Oppression, gaslighting,
lack of empathy,
intellectualizing oppression.
Did I say oppression?
They are literally saying white people are superior at gaslighting. What?
Lack of empathy.
You're just saying white people aren't empathetic. What?
Historically speaking, again, white people haven't been all that empathetic towards black people. Like, they literally enslaved them. I think these people are talking about history. Historically speaking, white people have been superior at enslaving black people. Can we all? Does anybody disagree with this? Stop me if I'm wrong. White people have been superior at enslaving black people. Now, answer the question. Do you think they were all that empathetic of black people? Do you think they felt a lot of empathy for the slaves that they were holding? I'm not saying that white people should feel guilty. I'm not saying that white people should feel as though they did something wrong, because historically white people have been crappy. Not saying that at all. Currently, white people are leading the charge on progressing interracial relationships. It's good. We're doing a good job. And us white people, you, me, all of you out there, we are all a part of that. We are not the ones to feel guilty because some other white douchebags had slaves. I'm not over here telling you to feel guilty. There is white guilt. What? No. Do I think that white supremacists were in our history? Yeah, for sure. It's pretty blatant. Do I think I benefit from being white? Yeah. Do I feel guilty for that? No. I can't help that I'm white. Just as anybody who doesn't get the benefits because they're black, they can't help that they're black. That's not their fault. Jesse West on YouTube. He said, "You're trying to explain this video that suffers a lack of context. I am keeping distance from this grown woke from this grown woke crap." I think that most people who watch that video understand the context, and PayMoneyWubby is purposefully ignoring the context. Because at no point does he say, well, maybe, just maybe, just a little bit of chance that they're talking about, like, systemically or historically speaking. At no point does he say this. He's just saying, well, they hate white people. This is embarrassing. That's his, like that. So far, this seems to be his premise. Maybe he'll get to it. Maybe I'm wrong.
How can these people say this with a straight face? And then how can people turn around and defend this by saying it's just comedy? I don't think a normal person could look at this video and say it's being presented as a comedy, especially the latter half of the video. I wouldn't consider myself some fucking moral authority or that I'm in any way a better person than these people. I am more in disbelief that the company Cut made this video, allowed this video to air, and then even more so shocked, people are defending this video.
I think it is a comedy. I think it is funny. You're like, they're making fun of white people. White people are funny. We're white. That's pretty funny.
Actually, are white people superior?
Dude's hat weighs more than him. I'm sorry.
Making us believe that we don't matter.
Believing that they're superior.
Feeling superior.
Thinking they're superior.
Thinking that they're superior.
Thinking that they are superior.
Self-delusion.
Controlling the narrative.
Believing their own press.
Marketing of white superiority.
Dude, the comedy. It's coming out in droves, dude. I can't stop laughing. A question that I know a lot of people will ask themselves is, well, what if the roles were reversed? What if this was a video of 20 white people saying the same things about any other race? Well, obviously that...
I would like to see that video. I would enjoy that video. Like, if somebody made that video, I would enjoy it. If they were like, hey, what are Nigerians superior at? Hey, what do you think Iraqis are superior at? Like, I would like to watch that video. I would like to see a bunch of white people try to explain their way out of that one. Be able to put them on the spot, and let's see a bunch of white people talk their way through that video. That would be great.
That video would get them in a lot of shit. Jobs would probably be on the line if white people did the same thing. I'm not going to say I disagree with that, but I still think it's an irrelevant point. I don't care what would happen if a white person did this. I don't need to care, because regardless of if I'm personally offended by this video, I don't know how you can make the case that this doesn't divide people more.
Whether you are Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're conservative, like, white people are really good at upholding white supremacy.
How about claiming?
Okay. I think that's objectively true. White people are good at upholding white supremacy. This is like a matter of fact. White people are good at upholding white supremacy. Tell me, guys, look, if you're in the comments and you disagree, tell me that white people are not good at upholding white supremacy. Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I feel like this is pretty straightforward. White people are good at upholding white supremacy. I don't think black people are trying to uphold white supremacy. I don't think, like, China is really working hard to uphold white supremacy.
That, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female.
So what exactly are white people superior
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating.
Hey, white people, you just criminals.
Manipulation.
Withholding information.
Lying.
Telling lies.
What kind of lies?
The lies of history.
Exactly, white people are superior.
They're real good at violence.
Violence. Genocide.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but I don't think violence is exclusively a white man's sport. I think that
Again, dude, they're obviously talking about on like a systemic level. We're talking about slavery. We're talking about Jim Crow. We're talking about cultural appropriation. We're talking about, you know, what like whatever comes to mind. This is all pretty straightforward. He is viewing this as if they're talking about white people right now, specifically like white people like him. It is obvious. And I understand, Chicken, you're saying I'm trying to explain a video that doesn't have good context to it. I think the context is pretty obvious. They are talking about a systemic level. White people are good at stealing things. White people are good at lying. White people are good at patting themselves on the back for things that they should have done anyways. Like ending slavery. Or ending Jim Crow. Right? Like, I feel all of this is super straightforward. PayMoneyWubby. I like the guy. I like his videos. I don't feel as though he's a horrible racist. Okay? But I think he's purposefully being offended by this video. I think you would have to be really like closed-minded in order to not understand the context in which these people are giving these testimonies. But PayMoneyWubby is acting as if they're talking about him specifically.
that's a human game. So I'm just saying.
Taking what's not there, taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
Appropriating things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other people's cultures.
What are white people good at? Stealing. They're good at taking shit.
They are very good at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
If you're watching this video and you're young and impressionable, fuck, white people are awful. Oh my God. Y'all.
Historically, white people have been pretty awful. Again, right now, nah. I don't feel bad for what white people have done. I don't have white guilt. I don't feel bad for any of the things that they're talking about in this video. He does. He seems to have some like internal problems that he needs to work out here. I recognize that white people have done all of these things. I don't feel bad for it. I didn't do any of that stuff. It's not my problem.
Oh, killing everybody. Again, going back to Hasan, someone in Hasan's chat while he was watching this video said, this video isn't helpful. And Hasan's reply was this.
I don't know if this is particularly helpful. It's not. It's the cut. It's supposed to be humorous. But of course, in a cut fashion, mayo, spicy, or police stuff is like funny. For me, what's more humorous about this entire process is how upset people get.
It's not trying to be helpful, which I agree.
It's true. He's okay. I'm sorry. I hate Hasan. He's a douchebag. I freaking hate that guy. But he is right. This is funny. This is funny that PayMoneyWubby is so upset about this. That he's getting offended by this. And he's actually said in this video, I am offended by this. That's funny. Like, come on. They are being funny. Like they're taking like all of the white supremacist stuff that's happened in history and said, this is what white people are superior at. That's kind of funny. You want them to like kind of get over it, right? They all say like black people, get over it. Get over all the stuff that's happened to you. And then when they turn it into a joke, it's still bad somehow.
It's comedy. And he said, what's even funnier is how offended people get. It just seems like such a fake answer. So I'm going to give an actual answer. When I watched this video initially, I was in disbelief. I was in disbelief that a company this large felt comfortable posting something like this, intentionally trying to be helpful. You're right about that, Hasan. It's not trying to be helpful. I do think that this divides people more than it brings people together. And I don't think it divides people in a way that makes them think. I think certain Black people would watch this and get very frustrated that this is how they're being represented in this video. And I think that white people would watch this and get even more frustrated that this is how they're being perceived. And again, I will say I'm all for pushing the envelope of comedy, but I really think this is a bit of a blunder in that department. I really do.
What